we made a challenge for ourselves today. We have lots of lenses and we are ready to take pictures.
All right, so we got our Canon 90D body here, and we're gonna pair it up with each of these lenses and then some modifiers. Our goal is to take at least 11 pictures, well, definitely 11 pictures because we have 11 different options, and we're gonna try and take 3 pictures with each option. So for our lenses, we have the Sigma 100mm macro. This is a 2.8 aperture. We have the Canon EF-S, which is meant specifically for the crop body. This is just an EF, by the way. 10 to 18. It is also considered a macro. Macro just means you can get closer to the target that you're shooting, by the way, in case you're unaware of that. All right, next we have a 17 to 40 millimeters. This is a wide range of focal lengths, and this is an f4 L series lens. You can tell the L series lenses always by the red ring. Canon puts red rings on their Canon L series lenses, which is their highest end lenses. The next one we have is also an EF-S lens. This is EF, EF, EF-S, EF-S. I believe that's it for the EF-S's. Again, EF-S is for the crop body. We have the Canon 90 is a 1.6 crop sensor as opposed to a full frame. So these two are made specifically for that camera. All the rest of these will fit on full frame, but can also work on the 90D. So this is a 18 to 135, a massive focal length here. This goes from 3.5 to 5.6. So the aperture at its closest, 18 millimeters, is going to be 3.5, and all the way out to 135, it's going to be 5.6. Next is going to be the Nifty 50, the favorite lens of many people. This is a 1.8. So this is their cheapest of the Nifty 50s. This is actually a very inexpensive and very great lens to get started in any portrait photography. It's got an awesome focal length. It's got a great deal of bokeh. It's one of my favorite lenses. It's not an L lens, but still really good. Next we have the Canon 24 to 85, and this one, this is actually an awesome professional photographer. From the 24 you can get it wide enough for a group, all the way up to 85 you can get decent portraits. So if you want a single lens that'll do families all the way up to portraits with a high quality, this is a 3.5 to 4.5 aperture as well. So it's a decent lens right there. Next is the 85mm prime. This is like the professionals' go-to for portrait photography. The aperture, I believe, is 1.4. Is that right? 1.4? Yeah. I'm sorry, it's 1.8. 1.8 aperture, same as Nifty 50, but this is an 85mm, so you're going to get even closer, which also allows you to have that depth of field to be a little bit more shallow. So, very high-end lens, also for portraits. This is the Canon 70 to 200mm 2.8. It's a beast of a lens. It does a lot of focal lengths all the way up to, if you're trying to do any indoor sports or anything with a 2.8 aperture, you can open it up really wide, get a lot of light in there. The rest of these are modifiers. So this is a 2x modifier, and this is a 1x modifier. These extenders will magnify, so any focal length you have here, they're either multiplied by 2 or multiplied by 1.4, respectively. The issue you're going to run into when you do that is if you have, like this particular lens, doesn't open up very wide. So when it's zoomed in, it's at a 5.6 aperture. The minute you add something like a 2x extender, it's now double that. It's going to be a lot darker, so you're going to have to bump up your ISO, which could introduce more noise, or you're going to have to do something else, slow down your shutter speed, maybe use a tripod. But these cut out a lot of light, but they also increase your range by the modifier labeled on there. Next we have extension tubes. Extension tubes allow you to get closer to your focal subject. So the macro lens, this one allows you to get very, very close to your subject before it can have its minimum focal distance. However, a regular lens won't. That turns almost any lens into a macro lens with some, obviously it's not going to be quite as sharp as your designated macro lenses, but it'll do the job in a pinch. So that's our challenge, that's our job today, and let's see how it goes. Oh, yes, we also have to take one more using a Speedlight. And this is the Canon 550EX Speedlight. This is probably going to kill me because I don't know how to use these and Tanya does. So
I love them!
So we'll have to see. Maybe I can learn on the fly really quickly. I tried to watch a bunch of YouTube tutorials to see if I could catch up to her knowledge, but we'll see how it goes. So that's it. That's our challenge. We'll be back when we get them done.
First challenge, macro lens, and we have to stay in our yard. I'm so excited. I love the macro. I don't think Dawn's ever shot with the macro. I don't usually share it. Oh, and FYI, this was my idea to do the photo shoot today, and the first challenge was outside. He's not too happy. He's hiding inside. Do you think he's gonna come out? Phew, he didn't lock the door on me. It hasn't even been 3 seconds and he already has a shot.
It's cold.
He says it's too cold to stay outside. The sun's out. He shouldn't be whining. Maybe he should have dressed better. So I shoot second, so I feel like I should be looking for ideas. That's pretty funny looking. Listen to the snow. I think I just stood in his sun. Oops! So, he did confirm he's never used the macro lens before, because I'm too greedy. And he says we're not doing this for points. I definitely think this is a challenge to see who gets better photos! So I was out here yesterday and took some macros. Is it cheating if I retake those pictures? Probably. Now I really gotta think. What am I gonna do? He's enjoying the snowbank that I built yesterday while I shoveled the driveway. It was pretty terrible.
I have to delete I have to delete all of the duplicates. So if I take 3 pictures of one thing, I delete those, the bad ones, and keep only one, right?
Correct.
That way we only have 3 different pictures.
Correct. I came up with the challenge, so I can come up with the rules and change them anytime I want.
No.
This one could be cool. Oh, I thought he was shooting at the fireplace. The fire pit. There's a moon. There's a star. Fancy.
So it's really cold out, and I think I kind of rushed some of my pictures. Didn't really take the settings that I should have had. Shut up.
He's already making excuses.
I told you I wasn't gonna win with this one. I don't have to make excuses for I haven't had enough practice with the macro lens. I don't think I'm gonna lose though, because some of my pictures were pretty awesome. But anyway, it's really cold, so I didn't take my time. So I'm gonna try and take my time better with the next lenses, and maybe get a pair of sunglasses because it's really bright out. So I'm a little annoyed because she's doing the wood and I was gonna do the wood, and then I thought maybe the button on the wood of the wagon was gonna be like extra with metal and wood, but now I'm seeing the texture of the piece of wood that she's taking a picture of, and I think she just chose a better subject this time. So props to her, good call. Look at her, she's getting all down and dirty in the snow. I hope she falls over and gets her bum wet. All right, so some pointers for anybody who's actually gonna try and do a challenge like this, especially with the macro lens. The macro lens, because you're putting the glass so close to the subject, your focal distance is your focal plane is very, very thin. So like you'll have the tip of my nose in focus and then my eyes won't be. The back of my head would be totally out of focus. That's how it works when you're really, really close. So if you think about that before you plan your shots. So I took an angled shot of the button, and if I would have had a tripod and I would have stacked a bunch of different focal point pictures, I could have gotten an amazing, really detailed shot. We didn't bring out a tripod, I didn't focus stack, I didn't take, 20 minutes to set up that shot. So what I should have done in hindsight is I should have found something that's a lot more flat, something that doesn't have too much depth to it, because then I would have gotten a lot more in focus. So we'll see what Tanya comes up with, because she doesn't do focus stacking or tripods, but she loves the macro lens. So I'm curious to see what kind of depth of field art she's going to use in order to show her creativity and her skill with that lens. But we'll find out. Next challenge, 10 to 18, our widest angle lens that we have at the beach.
We are off to the beach. Don picked this challenge, and just so you know, the challenge was not that you had to be outside. So he chose his shot outside because he was too lazy to set up lights.
It's a wide angle.
And it's a wide angle. Don't really know what we'd do inside. Actually, I do know. I would do the furniture because I have to do a shot in the living room, so I could get that done with now. I was gonna do a cute little couch, but no, we're outside. It's okay. The house isn't clean. What?
So that's a good idea with the couch. I like that.
It's my shot. You can't have it. So I got these new gloves the other day because I needed camera gloves. Woo! So far, I'm liking them. They're doable. Don's not wearing any gloves or even a hat. He crazy. Well, this is a stinker. We got the wide angle and I go second. So if he walks on the beach, then I have to Photoshop his stinky feet out.
She's copying me. No, I'm kidding. It's a wide angle landscape lens, and we're at the most landscape part of our neighborhood, so
I bet I'll get a different shot.
She'll get a different shot.
I'm gonna go for a swim. Be right back.
Mine will be better. So we're only gonna do 2 pictures here, 1 or 2, because so this is kind of, she did mention she didn't want me doing that, which is a pain because all of those tracks really kind of they can kill a picture. So I didn't go down. But she is getting a different shot, and I was thinking about going to do it, but I didn't want to ruin her opportunities. So, oh, she's shooting the same direction as me though. That's interesting. I would have taken a shot to the left, and she is shooting to the right. I would have gone that way. But then again, I don't know, because I'll have to walk down there and see. See, now technically this lens is also a macro lens. So part of me thinks I should take back my turn and get one decent picture of a footprint, because we have some kind of animal tracks coming through here, probably just a cat.
I just sat in the snow.
But I hope she falls over and gets her bum wet.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was cold.
You all right there?
No. When it's snowing, you wear snow pants outside. Well, when there's snow outside, you wear snow pants outside. Just common sense.
So she doesn't like this lens. This is my lens because it works great for video, because opening up all the way to 10 millimeters on a 1.6 crop sensor, which is what we have, gives you a good enough field of view where you can get a good video. But if you try to use something like a 50 millimeter, you can't get video unless you're going for real close-up shots. So this is my lens. I always get to use it, and she's not comfortable with it, so now she knows how I feel when I use the macro. So there. I hope we have more batteries, because the GoPro battery is getting low and the camera battery is getting low, and we've only gone through 2 of the 11 challenges, so got a lot to do.
I planned 2 batteries charged for the camera and 1 GoPro battery charged, and we'll go charge this one.
So good thing she planned. She did say she was just going to take 1 more quick photo of the fence, and then she took 15 of the fence, and we've been out here for too long now. My ears are starting to freeze, and I'm not wearing a hat because...
Excuse me, I did take 1 more photo. I just didn't have it set up the first 3 times. It wasn't right. I pay attention to my aperture, my ISO, and all that fun stuff. Thank you very much.
How many times did the shutter go off?
6.
All right, 17 to 40. Is this an L lens?
It's red.
This does have a red ring. This is an L lens, so it should be nice and sharp. So we're gonna try something, and we've seen enough fails to be scared.
If you didn't show me the fails, I would have totally just did it. It's like the cinnamon thing. You shouldn't have showed me.
So we're going to put boiling water in a mug and throw it and see if it turns to snow. We'll see. Well, I'm not gonna throw it. She's gonna throw it. All right, ready when you are.
So I'm
Yep.
And I try and make it go back, right?
Yeah, you're gonna try and make it, just do a big arch with it. Yeah.
How'd it do?
You did good. I don't know if I did good. So the water went a lot higher than I was expecting it to, so.
I threw it really high.
Yeah, you did. So we got a small footpath over by our beach. It's should be fully covered by snow right now. Hopefully there's no tracks in there. We can get a nice picture there. Were you using the 24 to 85?
Yes, we are.
24 to 85 millimeter lens. This is the one that I said is really great for if you want to be able to get portraits all the way up to 85. You can get a nice zoom in and a good view of headshot type of thing. And the 24 can zoom out enough to get a small group picture. Obviously, if you back up more, you can get a full group picture. But anyway, this is one of those ones where you'd want to have that for sure if you're shooting some kind of event where you want to get groups and close-ups. So let's see what we can do with it. All right, she gets to go first this time. I've gone first enough. This is the trail. Oh no! It's been walked on.
Wasn't walked on yesterday. I already got the shot, so it's okay. Wasn't that pretty? The sun is better today. But, all right.
It's me to pretend to talk into the camera, but I'm actually going to talk. She's taking forever because I changed every single setting. I had to change every setting because we were doing a motion shot. You can't capture motion with a slow shutter speed. You have to be fast, and then you have to stop down the aperture because otherwise your ISO, it's going to blow out because your ISO is already at 100 because it's a snowy day. So what are you going to do? Huh? What are you gonna do?
I don't really like my picture. My model kept moving.
Oh,
he didn't have patience. I took one shot and then he moved. I was like, I wasn't done yet. And then he tried to get back in it and no. And then I tried to take a picture of this, but just not as pretty as I want it to be. Yep, I got down low too, but I didn't walk in because he was rushing me. I didn't even get to see these cool berries, and the sun is right on the berries. So not fair.
What berries? I'll let you take the berries.
It's okay.
I'm not getting what I want.
That's cool looking. He definitely won that round.
My model was cuter.
Totally busted. He noticed my gloves and he's like, where's mine? And I was like, they were women's and I figured if they were too big for me, you'd get them. I didn't know.
Yeah, they just happened to fit perfectly. Just happened.
They are a little big, just not
okay,
big
I'll
enough
take
for
'em.
him.